Hello and welcome to This Week in Campbell Football, brought to you by our friends at Precision Ford. With Campbell head coach Mike Minner, I'm Chris Haymeyer, and on the show today, we will take a look at 15th ranked Monmouth coming in this weekend to Barker Lane Stadium on Senior Day with a conference championship on the line. But first, we talk about the other ranked team that came in here to Barker Lane Stadium last week. Coach, your Camels went toe-to-toe with the 11th ranked team in the country. Lost by 3. There were a couple of things that you said after the game led to the loss, but the thing you pointed out was just a couple mistakes at the end of the second quarter. What were those mistakes?
Well, when you look at the end of the second quarter, really that's where teams separate themselves. The end of the second quarter to the beginning of the third quarter. We knew we was going to take the ball first because I wanted more possessions in the first half than I did in the second half, so we can be in the ball game, right? And so we up 21-10. It's about a minute left in the game, and I should say in the half, and we kick the ball. And first of all, we give up a long return, so we're tackling around about the 38. Now, can an option team go that many yards and score a touchdown with about a minute and 50-something seconds? I don't know. I'm taking my chances with that. But then on top of that, we make a bonehead mistake. Pushing a guy at the end of the play, and just wasn't smart. And we get the 15-yard penalty because we want to be tough. Don't be tough in that situation, right? Walk away. Let's get our defense on the field. Let's hold these guys to 0 points, which is what our goal. Now we go in 21-10. It's a different ball game because they have to come out in the third quarter and do something with that drive, or not. We get the ball back, and now we go up 3 scores, and it's going to be really tough for them. And so I thought that was the difference in the ball game. So now they in the plus territory. Now they can run their offense. They can run the triple option offense, and was able to do that and get down and score right before the half. Now I thought in the third quarter we talked about the defense. You got to stop them. The defense stops them, right? And then the offense give it right back to them with an interception. And I think that right there kind of, that third quarter. When you look at young football teams, the third quarter is where you see the youthfulness because teams in the third quarter normally don't pay attention. And when you're a youthful team, a young team, the third quarter is the deal. When you're a veteran team, you dominate in the third quarter. And that's what you saw right there. I think it was like 14-0 or something like that in the third quarter. Now, we was able to come back in the fourth quarter because of our strength and conditioning. We've dominated everybody in the fourth quarter. And so, it's a deal where you cannot make those mistakes. You cannot give them personal foul penalties and expect to be a top 10 team in the country. It's never going to happen.
Coach, you lost these last 2 games by a total of 4 points. It's a young team. Yeah. They're not going to get any older this year. Is it as simple as fixing a few things mentally? Is that what makes the third quarter better? Is that what causes these close losses to become close wins?
Well, I think it's just experience. See, and you can't manufacture that, right? Guys got to go through those moments. Guys got to learn those moments. It's no different when I was playing in college and we was trying to get over the hump of winning a national championship. And my freshman year, we played Florida State, and we lose by 2 points. And we like, okay, we there. We understand what it takes to win a national championship, and if that's the number 1 team, then we're going to be fine. And we went into that offseason thinking that we were good enough to win until we graduated, and that's what happened. And I think this is what you're seeing with this football team. Football is a crazy sport because you must go through the process of developing who you're going to be. And right now we're just going through it, right? That's just part of where we at. You battle the number 1 team in the conference, okay, the 3 points, and now you got the number 2 team in the conference coming in. I'm talking preseason, and so hey, look, this is a measuring stick again. But the great thing is, Chris, is we win out, we conference champs, and that's the great thing about where we at. That's the hard work they put in at the beginning of the year to put them in position to be able to lose 2 games in a row and still have a chance to win a conference.
Coach, we'll look back at the highlights now from that Kennesaw State game. Remember, folks, this is a team that Campbell was shut out by 49-0 last year. It started very good early. First drive of the game, freshman wide receiver Jalen Kelsey. That converts a third down. Then senior receiver Jaquan Brooks did the same. Your Camels also picked up a fourth down conversion. How ready were your guys for this game?
Oh, these guys was fired up. In the locker room before the game, I had to try to calm them down a little bit. Like, look, guys, we got to go play football, and you got to be right in the right mind. And that right there shows you how excited and pumped up they were about this football game.
That was a 20-yard run. Hodge picked up about 3, and then the offensive line did the rest. Kelsey, a 33-yard reception. That sets up the touchdown for running back Jonathan Hawkins. Coach, your Camels were up 7-0 early.
Hey, great job by Coach Grimes of really attacking the defense early on with our first drive and punching it in, running it down the middle. I think that right there set the tone of Campbell's going to be here today.
Kennesaw State, one of the best scoring offenses in the country. They were held without a point by your defense in the first quarter. Why was your defense so effective?
Well, I mean, it's the first quarter, right? Yeah. I mean, these guys haven't figured you out yet. And trust me, they will figure you out. I thought the defense did a great job of the game plan with Coach Glosser, the defensive coordinator, having guys ready to play.
And Hodge, Malik Williams, 25-yard run here. Your quarterback ran for 110 in this game.
Well, you don't want your quarterback running for that many yards, but when you have to do what you have to do to make sure that we get it done here, again, making guys miss and taking it into the end zone, that really creates a lot of pressure on your defense.
He does it with his legs. We've seen Williams do this all year, but doing it with his arm again in this game. Coach, your wide receiver, Caleb Sneed, he caught fire, 6 catches for 99 yards. What made him so successful against the Sal defense?
Well, I mean, we was just getting him the football. This guy is a big-time football player, just a sophomore, big body, and him and Hodge really connected throughout the week. You know, they prepared for that, and, again, Hodge making it happen with his legs.
How did he get in there? Simply on this play, he just outran the Fast Owls here.
Yes, and that's what you got to have. You got to have speed and guys who's going to get into the end zone no matter what.
Defense, opportunistic, trying to get you back into the game. Down 2 scores in the fourth. Chris Cromartie that has played great. You have a wounded defensive line. He stepped up.
Yes, Big CC is what we call him. And great job by him of getting in that backfield and causing that fumble and recovering it.
Sneed off that fumble. This is a tough run and catch, and it sets up Cam Davis's, your other running back's touchdown.
Again, Caleb Sneed is our guy that's getting the football. He's big, he's physical, and was able to get it down to the goal line and hand the ball off to our other true freshman running back. Great job by Cam of making that run and getting in the end zone.
Well, here's a familiar face, red-shirting receiver Zach Roderick, but you can play him for the last 4 games. And Sneed, again, a perfect pitch and catch. That makes it 38-35. You would get no closer, but to put up 35 points against a team that shut you out last year, to hold the best offense, one of the best offenses in the entire country, at bay, you gained more yards than them, Coach. How proud are you of this team?
Well, listen, Chris, we worked hard. This football team understand our culture. They understand our cornerstones. When we talk about industriousness and enthusiasm, they bring it every single day. One team, one heartbeat being the foundation of who we are. They really, truly care for one another, truly have one another back. The team discipline piece that we always harp on day in and day out. These guys are starting to understand the discipline piece of how do you prepare for a game of that magnitude. You do that by staying in the process of what you have to do today. Don't worry about the game. The game will take care of itself. And so these guys are starting to understand that, the disciplined mind, and so this is what we're getting to. And then you start talking about being mentally tough. How do you go against a ranked top 10 team coming in? You got to be mentally tough. It's going to be some ups and downs, and that third quarter got away from us, but we kept fighting in the fourth quarter to make it a game and have an opportunity. Right there at that last drive, when they threw that ball, it was, their last drive, they threw the ball, they completed it, and that's really what got the game over. we was like a half a step away from hitting that quarterback and knocking that ball out and getting into the end zone. So we close, but we're not there yet, and so we got to keep going to work, and we got 2 more games left, and again, you got an opportunity, and that's all you can ask for.
Well, the big one coming up, Coach, you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, and we're not just looking at the world through orange-colored glasses. Campbell has 2 games left. If they win both those games, they'll have at least a share of the Big South Conference title. That would be the first time ever. But, Coach, another top 20 team comes in. This is a top-ranked team in the conference that blew out this Kennesaw State team. Monmouth, ranked 15th in the country. They have the best passer in Kenji Bahar, their quarterback in the entire conference. They have the best rusher in the entire Big South Conference in Pete Guerrero. Coach, this is a loaded question. How do you stop the best offense in the conference?
Well, you know, as a player, I played against the best offense in the world in the Florida Gators, right? And then in the NFL, I played against the best offense in the world and the St. Louis Rams, right? So we know what it feels like to go against an offense that's really, really tough, and they can run it, they can throw it. You got a great quarterback, got great receivers outside, got a great running game, a great offensive line, and so these guys have really just been blowing people away in the first 3 quarters. So my thing is that you have to start fast with them. You got to match what they do to you, and that's tough to do now. That's a tall order because this quarterback is so poised. Look at that throw. I mean, he puts the ball in the right spots. And then, of course, 25 is a guy, if you fall asleep, he will hurt you. He will go for 300 yards if you let him. And again, you know, receivers breaking tackles. And this is against Kennesaw State. I mean, so it's not like they just playing some JV team. This offense is really good, and their defenses. I believe their defense is just a defense of guys that really is opportunistic about what they do, and so it's a great football team. I think Coach is doing a great job of building a type of culture and a type of team that he can be proud of. Look at this guy. He throws the ball 70 yards right on the money. A receiver running all the way across the field to the other side. This is what we got to deal with on Saturday, so you know, please pray for us.
And come out and support. It is senior day, so make sure that you get there early to Barker Lane Stadium. Campbell and 15th ranked Monmouth with the conference title still in the sights of the Camels. 1 o'clock, we'll have coverage for you on ESPN Plus if you can't make it, and on 88.3 FM. Audio links through GoCamels.com. For head coach Mike Minner, I'm Chris Hamar saying so long, and we'll talk to you next week on This Week in Campbell Football.